Before we get started in our video today, I wanted to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Vantrue. Again, this is the Vantrue E360. This camera is 360 degrees, so you can just pop it onto your windshield somewhere, and when you want to go out, you're on adventures, you want to capture 360 footage, you can place it on the included tripod. This is what the back looks like. So again, this is a 360 camera. You get the fisheye lens effect, or you can get the whole 360 degree. And you can also connect this to your phone. Go over here. This is where you can download the app. It gives you QR code, both supported by Apple and Android. So looking inside of the box, we have our little pamphlet. This is how you set it up. Basically, you just plug this into your vehicle, you plug the rear camera, and it acts as a dash cam, or you just plug it in the tripod. This is your instruction manual. Pretty simple stuff. Little carrying case, which is nice and soft. This is all the stuff that's included. So obviously we have your plug. This connects to your car. A bunch of mounts right here so that you can hide the wires. Your prying tool, another mount so that if you have multiple vehicles, you can put this on your other vehicle. USB-C to a USB-A cable. You can use this as a charger to charge the handle, or if you want to plug this in your computer. And then we have this really long USB-C cable to USB-C so that you can connect the rear camera. This is what the camera looks like. As you can see, it's a pretty small camera, about the size of half my hand probably, maybe a little bit smaller. There's one button on the side. There's also a reset button. Your microphone is down here. Micro SD goes in there, and then down here, this is where you're gonna plug this into your tripod. Couple of warnings here: avoid touching glass lenses during work to prevent burns. So this device may get hot when it's in use. And what's cool about this is that you can literally take this anywhere. So you can just pop it off of its mount just like that. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab the handle, and then you're just gonna stick it on like so. Tighten it. Grab the legs or the feet. And now you got yourself a 360 camera. Isn't that cool? From dash cam to actual 360 camera. That's sick. This is a test of the Vantrue E360 out here using the 360 mode. And I'm using the tripod that they have included, and it gives you guys a sense of what the camera footage looks like. HDR is working because it is daylight. Now there is no sun, but there's a bunch of snow, and it's pretty bright out. And I got trees around me, all sorts of stuff going on. And yeah, you can see my surroundings. This 360 degree view of the woods, and we are going downhill, so yeah, this is what it looks like up here. And as you can see, there's a lot of distortion on the lens because of that 360 degree effect, but it's still pretty cool regardless, because this, as a dash cam, you simply just take out, carry along with you, and you have yourself a working, functioning 360 degree camera. I put this on a different lens because it has different lens functions, or different lens settings rather. So this is what it looks like. This is sort of like the fisheye lens. It gives you two angles, front and rear. It doesn't necessarily give you the whole 360 degree, but this is what it looks like for the fisheye. Let me know how it looks, guys. Video is muted because I had music blasting in the background, but as you can see, the camera footage is crystal clear, recording up to 5.2K video footage. And what's good about this dash cam is that there will absolutely be no blind spots due to its 360-degree lens. Night footage is also very clear. There's no blur, and the interior facing lens has auto infrared so that it can provide detailed footage even in complete darkness. Microphone quality is excellent, and it even has parking mode where it senses something hitting your car while parked. It'll automatically record footage.
Mantra. Holy!
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be installing some fender flares on the Chevy Colorado. Let's go. Unfortunately, some of the files have been deleted since I switched my laptop. The installation was on my old laptop, which I had in the hard drive, so unfortunately I don't have the installation process, but it's pretty straightforward. This is without the fender flares, and then if we go over here, this is with the fender flares. It's pretty easy to install. All you got to do is really just do the weather stripping around this part, and then there's clips that you just clip on. Pretty straightforward. So this is directly behind the truck without the fenders, and I'm gonna make sure that I get the correct angle, and you can clearly see there's a little bit of a difference. So it's poking out about an inch or so, it looks like. Now this is on the rear, let's go on the front. This is the front. Now I did notice that it's not perfect. There's a little bit of gap right here, but you can barely notice. So when off-roading, these are important because this protects your paint. Now I do need some mud flaps and proper off-roading wheels, but just look at this. It's all over the paint, and all of this is on the fender. Of course, maybe a set of mud flaps would also help as well, but look at all of this. That's just crazy how dirty this thing gets. But mudding on the Colorado is so much fun. I'll show you the other side. The front isn't too dirty, but there's still a little bit of mud. But this is on the driver's side. Not too bad, but you can see, because I don't have mud flaps or mud guards, you can see just how much dirt there is. And I'm telling you, this is one of the colors. It looks so much better when it's dirty. Before we install the spacers on the vehicle, as you can see, the fender flares give about 1 more inch, and look how tucked in the wheels look now. So I chose 2-inch spacers, and hopefully the wheels will sit flush. If not flush, then maybe a little bit past the fenders. This is the side profile of the truck so far. to give you guys a better look of what the fender flares look like. And this is the rear view. So as you can see, the wheels are like super tucked in the fender, and these fender flares give about 1 inch more poke. So yeah, let's see what these spacers do and what it'll look like on the vehicle. So I'm installing the spacers. This is what it looks like. Look at all that extra. It's like half my finger, pretty much. So the wheel is poking out about 1/2 inch. So if you were to get spacers for your Chevy Colorado, I suggest doing a 1.5 instead of a 2. But it still looks pretty nice. It looks better. At least the wheel's not really tucked in anymore. But then again, the wheel is poking out a little bit. Let's go over here. So that's what it looks like now. It's just poking out about 1/2 inch. And then if we look at the stock without the spacer, this is what it looks like over here. As you can see, the wheel is nowhere near poking out. It's tucked in. Let's look at it from over here. It kind of makes the tire look a little bit wider because it's sticking out further. So there you go, guys. The difference between with the spacer and without the spacer. And this is the final result, guys. Look at this. It looks so much sportier. I'm telling you, this Z71 with the minor little details like taking off the front air dam, doing the fenders, black door handles, and doing the spacers on the stock wheels, it makes the car look so much better. The tires are sticking out, but not too much, and I feel like they're perfect. I mean, they're past the fenders, but who cares? I mean, they look so good on the vehicle right now. It seriously gives the truck a much more sporty look, and it makes the wheels look so much wider than they really are. I mean, they're only 255s, but with the spacers on, they look a lot wider since they're sticking out a little bit.